Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Sorry I'm a little late, but as you can see, I am drawing out the active storms. This one's probably not going to become anything at this point. But we have 20. We have Sally, big concern. Paulette, big concern. Rain, not really. So these are concerns. Oh, nah, it wouldn't be like that. Or it could be like that. Or it could be like that. I'll draw a cone soon. But as you can see here, very active. These are our most worrying storms. And nothing much with those. And they still haven't fixed that problem. There's no depression yet. On here, 20 GFS. Has it become 968, 84 hours out. $966, 126. And we'll see the low pressure system. Yeah. A little bit of dry air around it, but it's holding in. Let's see, as you can see here, this is our most concerning situation. Most concerning as of right now. So let's see what the HWARF does with it. Just don't take it seriously. It may or may not happen. Do not look at this and say, oh my god, I am going to die. No, it's just has it as a very powerful storm. This will be one of the worst case scenarios. It doesn't look that good on this. Well, yes, it has very tall clouds around it. Not that much banding though. Maybe that's its band. No. That is its band. Again, it doesn't have much banding, but it has big ones when it does. Let's see it as of right now. Having a convective burst. There are light shots before. Okay, so here's what we got. So as we can see, outflow is being established. You can see that banding, and then I think that's a fetal band pulling in moisture. Again, another band. Cuba's really blocking out the bands right in here, but there's really a lot of banding right here, and then it stops, but the outflow is really coming out. And again, it is having some shear from there, but this could be concerning as it moves out of that shear, and it could possibly become a category 2, maybe a 3, but I will give you that track map actually right now for Sally. So let's update that. And as you can see, the channel has added a thing for Sally. but I'll show you my track map. So right here, just add no layers. I need to fix that problem. Okay, turn it back off. No. Yeah, okay. Thought I had no filters on. Go to none. Okay, so now I have my tracking map for this one. And so I'm always safe with my cones, but this one I'm kind of tight on. It's mainly, yeah, that's it. Probably cat 2 to 4. Actually scratch that. Cat 1 to 4. Don't get worried. It's possibly never gonna happen, but again, here's my tracking map for 95L. This one needs to be quite large, and this one has a ton. Now that part goes off the map, but just a ton of possibilities. It stops there, so I may even have to zoom out more. Yeah, that's a better idea. Honestly, the whole, so we've X'd this part out, because even if it does come up into the coast, it would most likely go like that. If it takes this track, it would most likely go like that, so. And then Paulette isn't that hard, but still be devastating for Bermuda. Watch out, Bermuda, and he just be prepared. Possibly cat 2 or 3. Oh, sorry, 3. Sorry about my terrible drawing. And that is global storms. As we can see here, let's go and review all the storms here. So we've already reviewed Paulette. Okay, H-Wharf, Paulette. Okay, see that is strongest. Ooh, 64, I think that's it. Right there. So, it's looking a little weak, with that band fizzling off. Sorry, that's my dog. With this band fizzling off. I don't know where it has went, but it has really gone a long way. It's gone a long way, but it stopped right there. Then this band from all the way over there, almost wrapping around, and then stops. Probably goes into the eye a little bit. And this band didn't last very long. So it's not looking too healthy, then that band. But let's see what it'll look like in its early days. Definitely look better going over Bermuda. Oh. There's Bermuda. No, it did not. Then fizzles out. So that is Paulette. Sally now. Let's get that radar and MSLP. So right now, well, 3 hours from now, you can see it's having some shear. That's that eye wall. So much rain, causing many problems for Key West and Miami and some of what is it called? The Everglades, with that banding coming in. But it is having some shear from right there. Let's move it out. And it shows it kind of lacking some of that convection because it's displaced off to the farther to the southeast. But it still has that convection over there though. It's still being impinged by that shear from the southeast. That's why the clouds are further southeast than normal. And there's a big feeder band coming in, feeding to there, and a well-established outflow at this point. Only on this side, again, that shear is causing to lack convection right there. It's just digging in. As you can see, it weakens. Then it starts getting that convection to start coming up. Is it north? Yeah, starts coming up northwest again. You can see more of that there to 999, and then that feeder band convection again is coming back up. Established outflow. Still bands moving over the Everglades, and let's move it out another frame, and it's still 999, but now the convection is further east, but it should move that way, and the shear has shifted that way, so there's no convection blowing up over the center. Only convection there. Still that massive feeder band though. It's already overachieving, and then right here is when it really starts to strengthen. 997 convection is getting closer. Bunch of convection. There's that feeder band going on beyond sight. But that convection here is getting closer to the center as of right now. And let's move it out another frame. This may be a long one, but again, it had stronger shear again, but that should weaken in the next frame. And convection there, convection trying to reach, but convection displaced to the east, and no convection, not much to the west, northwest as of right now. It says still established outflow. That feeder band feeding into it, still there. And then 995, that shear weakens right there. It's trying to wrap around. Massive feeder band still there. Convection still mostly off the coast of Florida. It's starting to get closer because this shear is starting to weaken. And really starts, that convection starts blowing up over the center. It really starts to get that curved shape to it. Convection is starting to wrap around the system. Probably almost Hurricane Sally at this point. Maybe not there just yet. And then another frame, it's probably Hurricane Sally with 989, maybe a 70-mile-an-hour storm, but you can see that. Right there, the convection is definitely starting to wrap around the system. Classic shape to a tropical storm, almost a hurricane at this point in time. And then this is a classic shape for a hurricane. It's wrapping around the center, has a northeast eye wall, or a north eye wall, I should say. And it has a little bit of a southwest eye wall right there, and it really starts to strengthen after this point as it goes kind of like that, the H4 says. Still, that feeder band still there, and another feeder band feeding into that system. This convection around the center. Then this convection wrapping around this system. Classic shape for this system. And let's move it on another frame. And right there, it's getting that classic curvature with this convection coming around. Again, more convection, still kind of displaced with shear coming from the northeast, and another band there. It's getting closer, so it really starts strengthening at this point. Now, it's still a strong system as 982, but now it has 976. It's really starting to wrap around. It's really starting to get that classic shape right here. Just really explaining it for you guys. The convection is now almost wrapped around the whole thing, which that's classic shape. It just needs to cut that in, and then it should be almost a major hurricane. It could be. And 973, and last frame it was 978, 973. You can, now it has made convection around the whole system. Right there. Still that feeder band feeding into this beast of a system right now, heading towards Louisiana. Could be a big problem for them. Still shear being impinged, a little dry air sneaking in there, if you see that, but still shear being impinged from the north and northeast. And if we moved on, 967, it's not being impinged by much shear or dry air. And as you can see, convection still wrapped around that center there. That feeder band has a little bit of convection with it too. But right there is all the convection, and then that feeder band, another feeder band, feeding in to that beast, a band, and it's really starting to strengthen at this point. 966. It's looking much better. That convection is around the whole center. There's the eye at this point. Feeder band still feeding into it from feeding in with that moisture. It's not being impinged, but there still is some north shear and some northwest shear on this system, but it should overcome that, and it's moved out of that shear by this point, and that convection is getting very noticeable. Eye wall right there, convection around the whole system, whole eye wall, just right there. That's probably one of the worst winds right there, where all that dark pink, well, where it's solid, is probably where the worst winds are going to be. And I'll show you on the next frame. It's gotten a smaller eye, so it would probably has a smaller eye, so it'd probably be strengthening faster, but it's overlaying now. Still shear from the northeast. Again, that convection has not been around that whole eye, but it's powerful, and that feeder band is starting to fade away. It's basically like a band now. Maybe that's the feeder band feeding into it. I don't know, but it's where the worst winds would be. It would probably be right here. It'll probably be right there, curving around. So it'll probably be right there on the HWARF for New Orleans. No way it's strengthened over what? How did it strengthen over land? I don't know. Anyway, again, see, it's much more established. This probably won't strengthen over land, but it's possible. It's called brown ocean effect, whatever. That is a band, and then this is its feeder band. That's where the worst winds would be, in that dark, solid pink. Right there, the convection is not misplaced. It is around the whole system. Classic shape. It is being overland, so it's gonna weaken. So that's basically it. Again, there's going to be a lot of damage if this plays out. Again, it's just going to move into North Carolina effects, Alabama effects, Mississippi effects, Georgia effects. Now let's move on to the HMON. Actually, no, I didn't mean to say that. Let's see Paulette. I think I've already done Paulette. Yeah, I have. It doesn't have. Let's see what GFS does with 20L or depression. So let's go to hour 0. And we need to use this instead. See the moisture, but as you can see, some little bit of drier air, not dry air up here, but very moist air right there, right there, right there. It's pulling in that moisture located right there about right now. And odds go out to win. It's probably going to be a name system right there. And let's move on to MOSLP and precipitation. But as of right now, sorry, I had to get up. As of right now, let's look at the radar, even though the radar is misplaced. Sorry for that, bouncing around. But, did not mean to do that. So as we can see, convection right here. It isn't as it's misplaced. Low pressure system would be right here. I don't know why it's like that. Usually a low pressure system would be right there if it was shaped like that, but global models are not doing so well. But then it starts to get that classic shape with that convection starting to wrap around there. And now this is going to be a pretty long video. It's going to be our last one. Because we're not doing rain, but as you can see, it really starts to build in as 997. It really starts to get that curvature, and it should be enclosed soon. And let's move it on the frame, and 995 convection is around the whole center. A little bit of convection in train, but it's probably misplaced. But let's move it on. Another frame, and as you can see here, it's misplaced again. It would be right here, but convection around the whole thing, banding, just coming in. A lot of moisture, a little bit of shear being impinged, and a little bit of dry air coming into this system as of right now, and it really starts to blow up convection over the center. Probably be right there, a low pressure system, but fully wrapped around. It's starting to get that. Here's the whole convection, and dry air a little bit getting in train. We'll probably get around the center a couple of times. Not much shear as of right now, maybe a little bit from the southeast, but not much, not that strong a shear. Again, it's still strengthening, has a well-defined core coming in like that. That's its moisture coming in from there, and again, just so much moisture coming in from there. A little bit of shear again being impinged on the system from the southeast, and it should become a major hurricane. See, this is when the center starts getting really misplaced. It's probably right there. Well, defined eye. There's that eye wall. Worst of the winds. You like that. And then there's a big convective burst right there, and it's getting that classic shape. It's looking very strong. Indeed, it's coming in. It's very, very strong, and it should be even stronger. Yeah. Now, the center's really misplaced at this point, but that's where the center would be. Right here would be, and then that eye wall. Let's see, that's the strongest winds as of right there. And again, you can clearly see now that shear coming in from the south, almost from the south, but it would be the southeast. Convective bursts over there, but it's still pulling in that moisture. But it's really lacking. That inner core is really starting to get by itself. But again, still, it's getting to much stronger shear, stronger extent, like we expected. But it's still strengthening at 970. That's probably low level center, mid-level and low level. But again, stronger and stronger shear being impinged from the southeast, almost the south, and a little bit of dry air getting entrained into that inner core. And it starts to get rid of the problems when more convection starts to fire. Out here, it becomes much larger, but still, there's a lot of dry air getting entrained. This feature is kind of moving out there. I don't know what that is, but still moisture being pulled in. That's actually its main band right there. But there is the eye probably at this point, and it strengthens once again. Let's get that 967 as of to the GFS. Strongest winds right there, no doubt. Dry air really starting to get entrained, but this is kind of blocking that off. But these are just stopping because the dry air, and this is really its main one at this point. Really starting to curve around into that center, but it starts to really disconnect from this right here. It starts to really disconnect from that. And it really starts to become its own entity at this point. 970, it's kind of fluctuating with the GFS. Now it's starting to become more symmetrical. That's its main band, I'm guessing. Main winds right there. And then it goes down to 966. That's when it really starts to detach from a bunch of this moisture here just sitting there, but it's still pulling in that moisture. It's probably its main band right there, wrapping around the center, and more banding coming in. It's coming around into their strongest winds, probably gonna be right here. Ton of wind, very strong. Then 966 still, and it just starts to die off with the GFS, and then it re-strengthens. Still, now there's a shear from the northeast. Probably strongest winds right there. That's where the strongest winds would be. But then it really starts to weaken with the GFS after that. But it had a good lifespan. See, it really became its own entity when that dry air really got entrained. It was doing pretty well, but then it just disconnected. Did pretty well, but then it started to die off. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Yes, I will see you guys later. I'm just checking the weather grids right now. I will see you guys later and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.